Welcome back to the channel. On this channel, I help you get through this current recession that we're in by talking about all of the past experiences I had from the 2008 recession, all the jobs I've had, all of my experiences, and everything I learned while job hunting. What I'm trying to tell you is it's going to be hard, but it's going to be okay. I've been there, I understand what you're going through, and I will help you get through this one. Just a couple of housekeeping items. I'm trying to get videos pumped out. The only problem is the computer. It isn't designed to video edit. When I bought it in 2017, I didn't ever think I'd be doing video editing. But here we are. So I'm updating this computer just as soon as I find something decent. If you have any suggestions, tell me in the comments. I'm open to any kind of help. Can you explain the credit check process and the debt delinquency of $7,500 or higher? This is a two-part answer. Debt and delinquent debt are two different things. Debt, home loans, car loans, student loans, credit cards. Everyone has them. It's okay. Delinquent debt is something different. If you have $7,500 or higher in delinquent debt, the Office of Personnel Management is going to decline your security clearance. Having a high amount of delinquent debt is a problem because what that says is you can't pay your bills on your current income. At that point, there's a higher chance of you accepting a bribe and you become a liability to national security at that point. So, in order for the government to protect itself and the country, they will not give you a job. This isn't just the TSA, this is the entire federal government. And the higher up you go in security clearance, those debt restrictions become a lot tighter. Keep your bills paid and be financially responsible. I understand things happen. If your delinquent debt gets too high, I will start thinking about debt consolidation services or something just to get your debt under control. As long as you can show the investigator, hey, I have a lot of debt, but all my bills are paid and I don't have a problem keeping up with the bills, it's totally okay because people own homes, they own cars, they have student debt, and we still have jobs in the government. Just don't let that debt get out of control. As far as having a tattoo or tattoos, keep them covered. They cannot be visible. If you have them on your arms or something, buy arm covers. Or if you have them on your hands, it's okay because you'll have on gloves on the checkpoint anyways. I had a co-worker who had a tattoo over here. She had to put on a band-aid just to cover it up every single day. She tried putting on foundation and all kinds of other things. Nothing helped. At the end, she just went to Costco and bought a big box of band-aids and put on a band-aid every single day. So, if you think you're gangster or thug life or whatever, and you got tattoos all up and down here and over here, you gotta cover them up. And how you do it, that's on you. At the TSA, going full-time is the holy grail. Everyone wants to go full-time, and I mean everybody wants to go full-time because you're hired as part-time, and paying the bills on part-time is hard, right? So, can you go full-time? Yes, it is based on four things, well, four, and I'll talk about them in order of priority. Number one, if you're getting value from the video, give me a thumbs up, it always helps. Number two, okay, well, now it's actually number one. Number one, it's based on availability. Full-time spots have to be available in order for you to get it. If the spots aren't available, why are we even talking about it? Number two, it's based on seniority. That is self-explanatory. If a person was hired before you and they're still part-time, they get first dibs on a full-time spot. Number three, attendance and conduct. Do you come to work on time, or do you even come to work at all? And when you do come in, are you causing problems? If you're the kind of person where you don't come in, or when you do, you cause problems, full-time is not gonna happen. So be on your best behavior at all times, because firing someone is very, very easy. Four, it's based on your annual evaluations. Every single year you have to take exams, and you have to pass those exams. You only get 2 chances to pass. If you don't pass, then you go back into training and you get 1 final chance. If you don't pass, then you get fired. So, in order to go full time, you have to pass those exams. If you don't, then you probably won't even have a job anyways. Is this a good job to have if I'm pregnant? The answer is yes. If you have doctor's appointments and all that stuff, TSA will happily accommodate. The only time that they can't accommodate is if you're training down at FLETC in Georgia. That's the only time, because it's a very structured training program and everything has to get done within a certain time frame. So, if you plan on having a family, it's perfectly okay. A very common question is this a good job or career to have? The answer is yes, it's a great job to have. People read blogs all the time, and those blogs say a lot of scary things about working at the TSA. I get it, and yes, a lot of those things are true. But there's 3 reasons why the TSA is a good job to have. 1, it's a very good introduction to federal jobs. You learn a lot about the federal application and the hiring process, and you learn a lot about federal employment. Number 2, if this is your first job and you don't have too much work experience, or if you've had jobs in the past but you don't have that many skills, the TSA is a great job to have because you learn a lot of skills very quickly. What a lot of people do is they will sign up for every special or additional assignment that they can just to build employment experience as fast as possible. 3, when I worked at the TSA, I hated it. Absolutely hated the job. But back then, I had a lot of personal things going on at the same time. But today, when I think about it, I actually enjoy the job. I had a lot of fun on the job. And it's taught me a lot of things. One very important thing that taught me is how to handle difficult people. And trust me, there's a lot of difficult people you have to put up with at TSA every single day. And that is a skill that I picked up very quickly, and you can use that skill in any job, no matter where you go. Even though I work for a different federal agency today, those skills I picked up at the TSA, I still use those skills today. I already told you about all the stuff you would read about on the blog post and all the scary and horrible things you hear, right? And I told you that a lot of those things were true. Well, a lot of those things are true. However, hang on. The TSA is just like any other job. It has its own fair share of BS. If you work at the TSA, the FBI, NSA, public health, or even at Walmart, or I don't know, or else at Burger King, or if you're a school teacher, or whatever. Every job has its fair share of BS, and the TSA isn't any different. Just because there are people at TSA that are hostile towards you or rude, there's also an equal number of people that are really, really cool, and they will always have your back. So, are the things you read about in the blog post true? Yes. However, it isn't that bad. It's not that bad at all. I'm the kind of person where I hate workplace politics. I don't want to deal with it at all. But if I could put up with it, so can you. And at the end of the day, guys, it's just a job. You're only there for 5 hours if you're part-time, 8 hours a day if you're full-time, and then you go home. And that's it. You don't have to talk with these people when you go home or deal with them. It's only when you're at work. And when you're at work, do your job and go home. You're not paid to be friends with people or be buddy-buddy. You're paid to do a job and go home. That's all it is. A lot of people have questions about work-life balance. I get it. You've got kids, you've got family, you probably even have a dog, right? Or you got plants where you're the only person that understands how to water those plants. Okay, cool. TSA does offer work-life balance if you have seniority. But the higher up that seniority is, the better that work-life balance gets. Your days off are probably going to be between Monday and Friday, and you get 2 days every week. If you have birthdays, holidays, doctor's appointments, dog got hit by a car, whatever, you have to schedule those things around your TSA schedule. However, if you are one of those people where things always seem to happen, don't even worry about full-time Playboy, because you're getting fired anyways. One reoccurring question that people have about TSA is scheduling. How do I find out about scheduling? What schedules are available? Schedules are determined every single year, and they are published before you actually pick the schedules. So when it comes time to pick, you at least have your first choice, second choice, third choice. You can count. Your schedule choice is picked out. It's done based on a bidding process, and I'll talk about that process in the order of priority. Number 1, give me a thumbs up for the algorithm, because that always helps. Okay. It's based on availability. That schedule has to be available in order for you to choose it. If they don't have that schedule, why are we even talking about it? Number 2, it is based on seniority. This is the government. Seniority is everything. Either you have it or you don't. The higher up you are in seniority, you get first dibs. And as I told you, that schedule changes every single year to once again accommodate work-life balance. It helps with some flexibility and it keeps things equitable. However, if you just got hired, you are gonna get whatever schedule happens to be available. If you like it, cool. If you don't, TSA will accommodate within reason. Vacations. Everyone wants to go on vacation. I go on vacation all the time. Here's a vacation picture. Here's another vacation picture. And another one. Okay, cool. We're all done with that. If you enjoy those pictures, give me a thumbs up. Oh, by the way, hit subscribe if you're getting value out of this video. So, vacations. We all want to go on vacations, right? How do you pick vacation time? You choose your vacation days when you bid for your schedule. You have to plan your life out a year in advance. So that way, 1, it helps with some flexibility. 2, helps with work-life balance. And 3, you already understand what your life is going to look like a year ahead of time. So it gives you time to plan. However, if you're like Basil and you don't have any kids or a family or a dog or plants and it's just all you, people like us don't usually pick our vacation days at the time of bidding. We pick our vacation days as we go. However, that can be a problem. You can have your vacation days anytime you want, but those days have to be available. And those days are available based on how many people have to be working that checkpoint that day. I can't tell you how many people each checkpoint has to have because all that stuff is classified. However, a certain amount of people have to be there. And if they don't have the availability to let you go on vacation, guess what? You're probably doing pat downs that day too. Having a second job. If you're part-time at TSA, congratulations. You probably have a second job or a third job or a fourth job or, whatever. So if you have a second job, TSA, once again, they will happily accommodate your second job. Once again, TSA takes priority over your priorities. So if you want accommodation and they can't accommodate, they will do their best to try. But if they can't, then they can't. However, when you do ask for accommodations, be very, very polite to these people. The scheduling people, they work very hard. So if you come in with like 10 different requests and all that, they probably won't be too happy with you. But just understand that they will work with you within a finite amount of space. Training. Okay, you can't do the job without being properly trained, right? Wrong. No, I'm just playing. They have to train you. When I was hired in 2011, all the training was done in-house. And training was 2 parts. It was classroom and then on-the-job training. However, all that has changed. Training today is done down in Georgia at FLETC. And it's I think it's an 8-week process and you do all your training down there. Once you're done, you get sent back to your airport. During your training down at FLETC in Georgia, you're taught how to read x-rays, how to do pat downs, how to do back checks. They even take you out to the bomb range and they blow up all kinds of stuff. And there's video on that at the TSA website, which I'll place down the description. And they also teach you a bunch of other stuff, which I can't talk about because it's classified. But you'll find out when you get down there. A lot of people ask me, when I go down to FLETC for training, what is it like being down there? Well, if you haven't been to college, guess what? You're going to college. Only difference is at FLETC, the TSA is the only agency, the only one that has a curfew of 8 p.m. If you don't come back on campus by 8 p.m., Johnny at the front guard desk is going to call TSA and tell them, hey, this person hasn't come back yet, and then TSA is going to call you and say, hey, pack your bags, it's time to go home. The rules down at FLETC are very strict. If you violate them, then you go home. But that's only for the TSA. Everyone else, they just kind of run around. Aside from that, being down at FLETC is just like being at college. You have dining halls, gyms, dormitories. and classrooms. And if you want to have some fun at FLETC, it's cool. You can. They have a bar on campus. If you stay in the DC area, LA, New York, drinks are expensive, right? Well, down in Georgia, they're pretty cheap. Being on probation. Because TSA hires people at part-time, your probation period is a 2-year process. Why? Because you're only there part-time. So your probation is twice as longer. When you're on probation, you have to be on your best behavior. You should always be on your best behavior, but especially on probation, because they are looking for any excuse to get you out of there. That's all I've got. If you got value from this video, give me a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost a thing. And hit the bell button so you find out every time I drop an episode. I do have a video coming up about how to apply for government jobs and the application process and how to find a job in government. Until then, peace out.